Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, people continue to react to a bill that could change the ownership of UHV. And the latest on a fire that burned almost 10,000 acres over the weekend. How much of it is contained? That's coming up. Plus, the president invokes an act from the 1700s. Those details are just ahead.
And it's official, breezy season has arrived in the Crossroads. We're going to have lots of breezy days coming our way this week, all thanks to a couple systems coming off the mountains. Now the main question is, will any rain come with it? Possibly. All that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday and happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. Happy Green Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, y'all. Hope you all are wearing green today.
Yes, and the weather is turning a little bit better. It's a little cool in the morning, but nice and hot during the day.
That's right.
And I've got to get out there and work out, or else I'm going to start looking like a leprechaun.
No, I can look like a leprechaun.
I'm short like a leprechaun.
There you go. I was not expecting that one.
You
Good
like
one.
that one, huh?
There you go. Well, if y'all tuning in with us this morning on your St. Patrick's Green Day, it's a bit of a chilly one out there this morning. So if you're all headed out the door for any kind of early morning errands, maybe grab that jacket. It's 47 degrees right now in Victoria. Dew point 1 degree off at that high 46 degrees is bringing us some high humidity this morning, but a low dew point in the 40s generally, with also a little bit of a light breeze is providing us with no fog to worry about this morning. We'll look at that fog map after this because you can see plenty humid for all of us out there, especially getting closer to that warmer Gulf water right now. You can see up to 100% refugio, but where's the fog? You can see non-existent out there right now, as promised. None of that to worry about there. Maybe just a little bit in Matagorda County, but that's going to be really light, if anything. So just be careful if you see any of that over there. What I want you all to worry about this morning is it's just a bit chilly right now. You can see temperatures across the state, generally in the 40s and 50s. Even got a 36 in San Angelo right now. Don't know what that's about. But in the Crossroads, we're all in the mid and upper 40s this morning. But today, it is going to be another nice, warm and sunny day, getting up to about the low 80s. And tonight, it's also going to be breezy. Tonight will be another cool one back in the upper 50s. And we'll look at all those details coming up next.
The hearing for a 17-year-old Victoria teen accused of making a terroristic threat has been scheduled for 9 a.m. today. Deputies arrested Brennan Gray on September 12, 2024 after he reportedly made a threat of a school shooting. Authorities say he implied he had a weapon in his backpack, though nothing was found. Gray first appeared in court on December 9th. Gray is charged with making a terroristic threat causing fear of imminent serious bodily injury. On Saturday afternoon, a fire broke out at the Victoria Compost Facility. The fire has been contained within the facility perimeter by the fire department. There's no immediate danger to the public or surrounding areas. The compost facility will remain closed today and reopen Tuesday. Former Texas A&M students in the Crossroads are reacting to the possibility of UHV being transferred to the Texas A&M University system. With the proposed transition, officials recognize that Texas A&M's academic program could better align with the economic and workforce needs of the region.
I know there's a lot of Victoria County Aggies, and with Victoria being an important economic center outside of your major metropolitan places, I think it would attract people to Victoria County.
Supporters of the move say the transition will provide UHV with expanded resources, enhanced academic opportunities, and long-term potential growth. Another person interested in the potential transfer of UHV to Texas A&M is former state representative Jeannie Morrison. Back in 2011, Morrison was involved in an effort to transfer UHV to Texas A&M. That effort failed, but with strong backing from state and local leaders, the transfer could move forward this time around. We had a chance to speak with the former representative who played a key role in the initial attempt 14 years ago.
And so we need these extra programs that the University of Houston cannot offer. We've got a lot coming. We need manufacturing, we need oil and gas, we need nuclear, and they have all of that will benefit this area and for our students to have really good productive jobs.
Morrison emphasizes the shift to Texas A&M will provide UHV with expanded resources and additional academic opportunities. State Representative for District 30, A.J. Louderback, filed a bill in the House Friday morning supporting the transfer of UHV to Texas A&M. The bill will serve as a companion bill to the one filed by State Senator Lois Cloakhorst in the state Senate. Representative Louderback said in a statement that the transfer of UHV to Texas A&M has been a major priority for the Victoria community for many years. If the bills are passed, the two systems must enter into a transfer memorandum no later than June 1st. Crews continued efforts on Sunday to contain a wildfire burning in Gillespie County. The fire was first reported on Saturday, and increasing wind speeds impeded firefighters' containment efforts. The Texas A&M Forest Service says the Crabapple fire has prompted evacuations as it reached more than 9,500 acres Sunday afternoon. And just before 6:30 p.m. Sunday, the fire was 55% contained. No injuries have been reported by officials. Several structures have been destroyed, and it's unknown how many people are displaced by the fire at this time. The White House is explaining why it deported a group of Venezuelans over the weekend, even though a judge ordered the flights be turned around.
This morning, the Trump administration denies it violated a judge's order after deporting hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members.
The executive branch defying a federal court order raises the stakes enormously.
Just after 6 p.m. Saturday, planes carrying more than 200 Venezuelan prisoners left the U.S. after the administration invoked the Alien Enemies Act, a law from the late 1700s that allows the government to deport non-citizens without due process during wartime. Less than an hour later, a federal judge temporarily blocked the president from invoking the law and ordered the planes to turn around, saying any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States. But the planes never turned around, and video shows the alleged gang members being marched into prison in El Salvador yesterday. Critics argue the administration defied the judge's orders, but the White House argues the judge has no jurisdiction over the president's conduct of foreign affairs, his authorities under the Alien Enemies Act, and his core Article 2 powers to remove foreign alien terrorists.
The statute says you may go after enemy aliens when there is a declared war with a foreign government. The statute was never intended for a situation like this.
However, the law has precedent. In 1948, 3 years after the end of World War II, the Supreme Court upheld President Truman's decision to deport a German national as an enemy alien, ruling it was not up to judges to decide what constitutes wartime. Another deportation in recent days is in the spotlight. Protesters are demanding the return of Dr. Rasha Alawi, an assistant professor at Brown University who's a kidney transplant specialist. She reportedly had a valid visa, but was detained last week at Boston's Logan Airport after returning from Lebanon. Federal officials not commenting on why, only saying our CBP officers adhere to strict protocols to identify and stop threats. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
The SpaceX Crew 10's Dragon capsule docked with the International Space Station just after midnight Sunday morning. A Falcon 9 rocket carried the spacecraft into orbit Friday night, and the capsule completed its long journey very early in the morning as the capsule slowly approached and connected with the ISS as it passed about 260 statute miles over the Atlantic Ocean. Shortly afterwards, the hatch was opened and the 4-person crew was welcomed aboard. SpaceX's Crew 9 is expected to return to Earth on Tuesday, with Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, whose stay at the ISS was extended by several months. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, looking at our clock up here, it's 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We get an update on the City of Victoria's capital improvements plan.
Promising more U.S. airstrikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with Reaction this morning.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast for today, going to be a bit of a warm one all across beautiful Texas and a tad bit breezy. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how warm and breezy I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live and clear in chilly Cuero. Right now in Cuero, we're starting out the day at a chilly 49 degrees, so go ahead and grab that jacket if you're about to walk out the door. 45.4 degrees off is still bringing us that high 87% humidity. Not really high enough to worry about fog, so don't worry about that this morning. And today, don't worry about really any kind of clouds because guess what? It's going to be another nice and sunny day, just like it has been for the last several days. So I hope y'all enjoy that sunshine. However, the sun will be with us up until the late afternoon time when we will actually start picking up just a few clouds. Somewhere around 4 or 5 p.m. we will start picking up just a few clouds up to about mostly sunny and partly cloudy. And that partly cloudy, mostly sunny trend will continue with us all the way into the overnight hours, where I'm thinking we're going to see partly cloudy skies tonight. And underneath the sun today, already about the mid 70s at noontime for temperatures, but in the afternoon, looking for highs generally in the low 80s for everybody today. I'm thinking 81 for in Victoria, maybe 82 for a moment or so. 82, I'm thinking actually the high in Cuero today, and I'm actually thinking the high of 79, maybe even 80 for a moment or so in Port Lavaca tonight or today. Before tonight, underneath the partly cloudy skies, like I said, lows will drop down into the upper 50s for most. Some of us might be in the mid 50s. Before tomorrow, we're having another day in the low 80s and upper 70s. And all that thanks to the breezy winds that are coming out of the Gulf today and also tomorrow as well, but more breezy tomorrow. Today, gusts will be up to about 25, maybe 30 miles an hour at times for a moment or so, but tomorrow will be the main breezy day with gusts out of the Gulf 35 to 40 miles an hour. So if you have any lightweight items, maybe take that inside for the today and definitely for the rest of this week because lots of breezy days, and that will bring us some high tree and grass pollen. So maybe make sure to take an allergy pill as well and maybe do that for the rest of this week. Lots of fronts coming over the way, bringing breezy days and fronts and maybe rain chances. All that coming up next.
This morning, President Trump responding to the U.S. strikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen. The president announced over the weekend he ordered the U.S. military to launch decisive and powerful military action.
This morning, the U.S. vows to keep hitting Iran-backed Houthi rebels until shipping attacks in the Red Sea stop. A U.S. official confirms to ABC News that U.S. air and naval assets hit dozens of Houthi targets in Yemen, including missiles, radars, and drone and air defense systems. Overnight, President Trump was asked if he was worried about retaliation.
Are you concerned about any retaliatory measures taken at all?
No, I'm not. Really, I'm not.
U.S. Central Command releasing this video of F-18s taking off to carry out the airstrikes, while the White House shared these images of the president watching the strikes from his golf course in Florida. Officials in Yemen say U.S. attacks killed more than 50 people over the weekend. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz did not rule out the possibility of direct military action on Iran.
All options are always on the table with the president, but Iran needs to hear him loud and clear. It is completely unacceptable, and it will be stopped, the level of support that they've been providing the Houthis.
On Sunday, the Houthis claimed to have made a retaliatory attack, saying they targeted the USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier with 18 ballistic and cruise missiles and a drone. But a U.S. official tells ABC News this is not true, and the Navy said they didn't come close to any U.S. ship in the area. The group said it will not hesitate to target all American warships in the Red and Arabian Seas in response. The Biden administration also conducted airstrikes against the Houthis, but President Trump vows this time is different, writing Iran's support for the group must end immediately. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you agree with President Trump's decision to strike Yemen? All right, let's take a look. 54% of you say yes and 46% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The City of Victoria is continuing to work on fixing up streets. This is all part of an update. Director of Communications Ashley Strevel says the city is setting aside almost $10.5 million on street projects. The Capital Improvement Plan is a blueprint for building and repairing assets such as Riverside's Children's Park, a splash pad, and boat ramp improvements with a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant.
We look at improvements across the city to be made to things like our residential streets, our thoroughfares, other programs and initiatives such as our children's playground, splash pad.
The City of Victoria plans to carry out the Capital Improvement Plan all the way through 2028. Victoria County Commissioners will meet at 10 a.m. today. Here are some items from their agenda. They'll consider approving an economic development agreement with Halliburton Energy Services, and they'll receive the fully executed Health and Human Services Commission grant agreement contract to construct a $40 million mental health facility with up to 60 inpatient beds. And they'll receive the executive lease agreement between the Bloomington Volunteer Fire Department and Victoria County. They meet on the second floor of the courthouse in room 241 at 115 North Bridge Street. The time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, we got an update on Pope Francis and a look at some released photos. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Philip. Happy birthday. Happy 86th birthday, Uncle Philip, from all your nieces and nephews. We hope you have a wonderful day.
Oh, happy birthday, Philip. And also happy birthday to Ava. Happy 6th birthday, Ava, Mommy, Joshy, MJ, and Caleb. Love you very much. Look at that sweet picture.
And Kurt Russell, star of Escape from New York, Tombstone, and The Thing, turns 74 today.
Well, a big happy birthday to Kurt Russell. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com. Click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, and I want to wish a happy birthday to Miss Kelly. Happy birthday, Kelly. Hope you're having a happy St. Patrick's Day birthday. Are you going to have the green cake?
There you go. Good question.
We'll see. It's 6:47 on our Monday, St. Patrick's Day morning.
That's right, it is.
Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you did this weekend.
That's right, or over the weekend. Happy birthday. Stay with us. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all just saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and did you see rain? Are you dreaming right now? No, you're not dreaming. You did see some rain, and we're going to take a look at what that's all about here in a second, because we got to look at kind of what we're dealing with first. Starting out with your satellite, you can see over the eastern coast, we had that monstrous, humongous upper-level low-pressure system, mid-latitude cyclone that came off the mountains and brought all sorts of severe weather to the Mississippi River Valley and also parts of the Dixie Valley states as well. You can see that's starting to push off actually up into Canada right now. And we're going to be shifting our focus away from that and onto the next few systems. All three of those are out in the Pacific right now. You can see here system number one, low system number one that it is, bringing a bit of an atmospheric river into parts of California. And actually they're calling for some heavy snow totals in Nevada. We're talking like 2 or 3 feet of snow over there in the mountains. But if we look to the west of that, here's system number two. This system will not be of concern to us. It's not going to bring us anything. But system number three coming in behind that, you can't see that yet, will be bringing us something, and that will be bringing us up front and maybe rain chances. We'll look at it here in a second, because you can see all that here on the upper air tracker. Here's system number one, bringing us a weak front Wednesday night, cooling us down to the mid-70s. We'll also look at that. There's system number two, not of concern to us, because here's system number three. That's going to come off the mountains a little bit further north, bringing us maybe a slightly stronger cool front, maybe dropping us to the upper 60s, but bringing us rain chances. Like I said, look at that in a second, because temperatures the next few days in the 80s, and then that front gets through here Wednesday night, and we're dropping down to the mid-70s. Only a couple days, because we're back in the mid-80s this weekend. And also that system coming on Wednesday will bring us more possible fire weather. That's why we have a possible alert day for Wednesday. So make sure we're careful with burning. But like I said, that third system coming off the mountains this weekend will bring us a rain chance. And it's going to be at about 40% for maybe the nighttime of Sunday. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
Now we bring you an inspiring story of resilience and endurance. Chris Gonzalez is celebrating his 41st birthday, a day his family calls a miracle.
It was either going to die in the helicopter or die here at Citizens.
Surrounded by his family and loved ones, Chris marks another year of life, a life that they believe is a miracle.
You know, the biggest thing is that I wasn't supposed to live past a few months. I was supposed to be mentally challenged, difficulties in athleticism, in speech and everything like that. And here I am 41 years later.
He was born with gastroschisis, a rare birth defect where a baby is born with intestines outside the body. It is a condition without a cure. While some babies undergo surgery to repair it, many do not survive past infancy.
I consider it, believe it or not, almost a blessing. This is the life that God gave me, and I can either use it to get down on myself, or I can use it to figure, hey, let me make the best of this. And there's no reason to complain. I'm blessed for what God has given me in life.
He expressed how he was mentally challenged and was ashamed of his condition, but he realized this should not stop him from living his life.
whenever I noticed that I was different, whenever I realized that I don't have the same abilities as others.
Because it is so rare, he believes it does not receive the attention it deserves. He stresses the importance of increasing awareness and research efforts so that a cure may one day be found.
Considering how rare it was, even now I realize that there's not a lot of people with this disease. Gastroschisis at birth and now gastroparesis is that it needs to be known more.
Through his struggle, Chris found strength in his daughter, who he says became his biggest motivation to keep going.
So I just kept on going and realized that at a very young age that this is what it is. There's no use of complaining, and I can either use it to get me down or I can build myself up and keep on going with it.
Now, Chris uses his experience to inspire others who may be battling rare conditions. He hopes to raise awareness about gastroschisis, a condition he feels is often overlooked.
Pope Francis celebrated Mass on Sunday among priests while recovering in a hospital in Rome. The Vatican released the first photo of the 88-year-old pontiff in the hospital since he began treatment for double pneumonia in mid-February. Pope Francis is shown taking part in what the Vatican described as a con-celebration Mass in the hospital's chapel. The Vatican says the Pope remains in a stable condition. At least 51 people were killed Saturday night when a fire broke out in a northern Macedonia nightclub. Pyrotechnics from a performance are said to have started the fire. The country's interior minister said at a press conference that 51 people were killed and that count has since increased to 59. While about 100 others were injured, police have arrested one man. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Have all the federal job cuts impacted how the IRS is handling tax season this year? We have those details. The Internal Revenue Service may face some challenges this year. The agency, like many other government departments, has faced upheaval since the Trump administration took over. Over the past 7 weeks, key top executives have left the IRS. About 6,700 probationary employees lost their jobs last month. More reductions in the workforce could have an impact, especially when it comes to taxpayer services. Tariffs on China could affect Americans' abilities to get prescription drugs at a lower price. Healthcare experts and manufacturers told USA Today that the 20% tariffs on imported Chinese goods could shrink supply and some generic drugs could disappear from the market. China is one of the largest suppliers of ingredients in generics, and generic drugs make up about 90% of the prescriptions filled in the U.S. Severe storms moved through parts of Missouri over the weekend, leaving behind a path of destruction. The city of Rolla was hit especially hard by the storms. A tornado came through the area and damaged several businesses. Just days away from their grand opening, some of these businesses. The path of the storms over the weekend left 40 people dead in multiple states. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our sunrise starting to peek over the horizon with Parker.
That's right, it is. Sun's starting to come up, isn't it? You can see that. You get a little bit of sunlight starting to come up over the coast this morning, but it's going to be another nice and sunny day, y'all. So go ahead and grab those sunglasses. But also right now, especially right now, grab your jacket. It's a bit chilly right now. You can see all of us starting out the day in the mid and upper 40s this morning. Along the coast, y'all in the mid 50s and low 50s, being next to that warmer Gulf water. But today in Port Lavaca, it's going to be, like I said, a beautiful day. So fishers and boaters out there, and just normal folks on the coast, looking for a nice day. Up at about 79 for the high today. Already mid 70s at noontime. Underneath that, beaming Texas sun all day. Also a bit breezy in the afternoon. Gust up to 25 to 30 miles an hour at times on the coast. Inland counties, I'm thinking up to 25 at times. Bringing us up to a high of 81 today in Victoria. Underneath that sunshine all day. A few clouds start to pick up in the late afternoon, up to partly cloudy, but mostly sunny for the rest of the day. 82 for the high today, and Cueros a little bit warmer. And for the rest of this week, I hope y'all like that, because we have just that highs in the 80s and 70s all week long, with one front coming Wednesday night, bringing us a possible alert day for fire weather.
All right, thank y'all so much for being with us. Shauna, Dawn, Mike, Olivia, Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.